These guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording Thursday, February 22nd, after the Celtics win over the Chicago Bulls. They took down Chicago by a score of 129 to 112. Slight slip up in the second quarter, but other than that, a pretty dominant game for the Celtics, I should say. It was a weird stretch where Vucevic was just kind of getting what he wanted. He was finding, the pockets in the post. He was setting hard screens, getting the Bulls open. Once the Celtics adjusted, threw some more bodies at him in the third quarter. Bulls were cooked, and it was kind of like wipe your hands clean, get out of here, you're done. And they controlled it from there. So pretty good way to come out of the All-Star break. This is exactly what you want from the best team in the Eastern Conference. And better yet, Sam, Cavaliers lost. 7-game lead in the East for the Celtics now. Feeling good.
Rest and piss. Yeah, all of a sudden they're not playing Mickey Mouse teams and they lose. Big shock, right? No, I mean, this was a game from the Celtics, to say the very least. Started off, tweeted out the Kevin James video. I was like, this team is ready to roll. They started the engines, and then the engines exploded in the second quarter. And they went into the break down 3. But then they fixed the engines. They came out and they just beat the brakes off the Bulls in the second half. And that's exactly what you expected to happen, but from start to finish. I'm not going to complain about this, though. I thought they did a good job in responding. If you want to look at the poor second quarter, yes, you can. But really, the important part is Jayson Tatum came out of the half after I texted you, and I said, this man just had a circle jerk for him the whole week, MVP, and he's done nothing. He had 5 points at the break. He had 20 in the second half, and he got himself going by driving, forcing the issue, and getting himself to the free throw line. Then he saw a couple go in, and he just kind of caught fire, made a really tough fall away at the shot clock buzzer out of the post on, I think, Kobe White. Then he made a couple of pull-up threes. Like, he looked really comfortable out there in the second half. Had a bunch of steals, too. Like, good Tatum game overall. I'm very happy with the way he responded after the slow start. And shout out to Jalen, because I think he had 1 point in the second half, but he was a big reason why they were in the game at the break. He was unconscious to start this one. And another, Jalen takes the 4th most shots on the team game, which we've seen him take less and less shots as we've gone along this season. Interesting trend.
Yeah, he dominated that second quarter, though. Like, that second quarter, he took 7 shots, 5, 7, 3, 4, was unconscious, like you said. 14 points carried him through. And then Tatum in the third quarter, after struggling, was just dominant. Like 15 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 of 8, 3 of 5. He did everything for the Celtics in that game. He was the reason that they re-extended their lead. And for what it's worth, you mentioned the response. Nikola Vucevic in the first half was 9 of 12 with 20 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists. In the second half, he was 1 of 7 for 2 points with 5 rebounds. So I'd say they did a pretty good job of adjusting and figuring out a way to slow him down throughout the game. And by the time it got to the third quarter, like, they were sending extra bodies. They were keeping him on the perimeter. They weren't letting him get in deep post position. It was, you got us once, like, fool me once, shame on you, basically. Fool me twice, shame on me. And they didn't let him fool me twice.
Yeah. I despise Vucevic. Not really. But I was annoyed that he played well in this game, enough to keep Chicago in it. Little concerning to see them not be able to handle the big body.
I will also say, yes, Vucevic made a bunch of shots. It was also Drummond made some good post moves. I thought this was equal parts. Yeah, I thought this was equal parts, those two getting hot in the post. And the Celtics did just also miss a bunch of open threes. Like, they did just miss their shots, and it did correct itself. And that's what you saw in the second half of the game. Like, the Celtics got plenty of open shots. Kristaps Porzingis was a brick machine in the first half. He got a ton of open ones. Jayson Tatum, was not himself driving to the rim in this one at times. But by the time the second half came around, everything evened out on offense, and Vucevic calmed down. They adjusted, and I'm not as concerned about, them not being able to handle Vucevic for a quarter. And I'm more happy that they saw what happened, adjusted, and now have that, clink memory in the back of their brain to adjust moving forward. Because for what it's worth, it's not like this has been physicality has been a problem for them at times this season, but it's not like they've been getting murdered in the post by teams. Like even Jokic, like they defended Jokic really damn well. He just made a million fucking contested shots when they played him.
Right.
So I think they've done a good job at defending the post for the most part this season, especially with Embiid too. Like you look early in the season,
Embiid had his lowest totals against
Yeah.
the Celtics.
you look at Embiid, you look at Cat, you look at Randall, you put Drew Holiday on those guys, like you have an answer for them. It's weird they didn't go to Holiday on Vooch in this one, because I do think Porzingis got bodied a little bit too much for my liking, but I'm glad they found a way to adjust to it. In the second half, and I think it was much better for them. Obviously, by the result of the game.
So Holiday only had 2 steals credited to him in this game. It felt like he caused a lot more disruptions than that, and he did a great job of being the help guy on drives. To your credit, I vividly remember him poking the ball off of Vucevic a few times. So the fact that he helped them muck up that whole Vucevic just getting whatever he wants type thing, which might not have necessarily been the way it played out, but regardless, he wasn't missing a whole lot in the first half. And they threw him off his rhythm after the halftime break. So completely fine with the response on that. I think overall, having Tillman should help them down the line if they run into physicality problems. It's been a lot of the billing on him since the trade, where it's like, well, he's in a battle for you. He's hung with the big bodies of the West, like Anthony Davis and Jokic. So he should be able to give the Celtics a little extra help there. I was a bit surprised not to see him until garbage time today, just because it felt like they could have used that help. Now, Kornet was really good, especially in the second half.
I was gonna say.
So I can see why that didn't necessarily happen until garbage time. But on defense, I didn't think Kornet was fantastic. I watched him get bumped off both those guys a few times.
Yeah.
And it's going to happen. They're big bodies. Like Drummond is an extremely strong individual. Of course, you're going to get bumped off. But the positives on Kornet, super cool dunks galore. The dabs. He had 4 rebounds too. Like, he was just a good energy guy in this game. He was involved in the turnaround. He did a great job of running the floor. And this was a game where you had the luxury of noticing Luke Kornet and noticing him for the right reasons. Usually he's just not heard from.
Mm-hmm.
More often than not, when he is heard from, it's for a good reason. Today was another one of those days. Eat your heart out comments.
I was gonna say they're in shambles. They're super mad.
Nobody's gonna watch this just because of that. They're gonna be like, "Damn it, I don't want to hear them talk about Luke Kornet and say nice things."
They're mad. They're big mad. Kornet was awesome in this game, man. The dunks were great. The defense, like you said, wasn't as good as it should be. For what it's worth, I don't think anybody did a great job on those guys in general. I just think they did a good job of not letting him get to those spots in the second half, not necessarily like defending him super well in those spots. Like they would send help once he did. Like it's not like there was a ton of one-on-one like greatness guarding Vucevic in that spot. But Kornet certainly didn't, solve the issue there. So maybe you could have gone with Tillman, but Kornet's like length in his ability to roll, screening, hustle guy down low, getting the rebounds. Obviously the super cool dabs were fun. He's just, he did everything he needs to do in this game. And so credit to him. You don't pay him to guard starting centers, and so it's easy to see him struggle against them. And also, like there was one possession where he was on Andre Drummond, where Drew Holiday just helped for no reason, and like it led to an open bucket. So it's like at least give him the chance to guard him, Drew. Come on, like let me see him get a chance first. And then in the second half, he did get his chance, and he got barreled through. So maybe Drew was a little bit correct, but maybe you see Tillman in those spots a little bit. Didn't matter in the end. I think the real star of the show in this one, Derrick fucking White, is so good
He's a
at
game-high scorer.
basketball. Yeah, Derrick White finished this game 28 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks. All 3 blocks in the first quarter of the of the game. 9 of 14 from the field, 5 of 10 from deep, 5 of 5 from the free throw line. Obviously, notice the 3-point shooting when it comes to Derrick White, right? He took 10 threes, made 5 of them. Huge. Outside of that, he shot 4 of 4 from the field. His float game is elite. As a pick and roll player, he is one of the best guards in the NBA. His ability to adjust his body. What do you call him?
The shapeshifter.
The shapeshifter. His ability to morph his body into whatever position he needs to get his float up and to get that shot in and down. His finishing around the rim. I argue he is the best player at drawing fouls on the team. Like he might not get the most, but like in terms of, I'm not gonna look for it, and I'm probably wrong by the numbers, but the eye test tells me
Don't look at the numbers.
I'm not getting downhill, looking for contact and driving through guys. He's not only the best finisher, but also gets the most calls in those spots. And so I think he's great in those areas. This was a masterclass from Derrick White, who didn't even take the most shots on the team. He took the third most on the squad with 14 behind Tatum and Kristaps, who, I mean, nobody took 20 shots in the game, which is fine.
Good distribution in this game.
Yeah.
It really felt
So,
like.
Shout out to Derrick White. I think he was the best player on the floor tonight for the Celtics. Consistently.
Derrick White came out firing. That man had 12 points right off the rip. He had 3 blocks in this game. They all came right in the first quarter, setting the tone. I think we owe a shout out to Big Cat. He has the opposite effect on Derrick White compared to JJ Redick. He was at the Barstool headquarters hanging out with the Pardon My Take boys and has a monster start to the second half of the season after. So big time respect. Thank you, Big Cat. Hashtag thank you, Big Cat. He has broken the JJ Redick curse, gotten the stink off of him, whatever you may want to say. Derrick White is officially back. Not to say he wasn't back before the break because he had a few fourth quarter takeovers, but he looked fantastic in this game today, and he looked super confident. 10 threes in this game for Derrick White. I can't tell you the last time he took double-digit threes. Probably more frequent than you think because he does take a lot of threes.
I was going to say, I think he does it a lot. I'll look.
The NFL season is wrapping up, and there's still time to get in on the action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets, guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. Now, the app is so easy to use, and there are so many different ways to bet, like live same-game parlays, find bets in the new Explore tab, make a parlay in the Parlay Hub, the best way to find popular parlays, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/Boston and make your first bet a layup. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
To your point, Jack, he does a great job of getting inside. And he made all his free throws. Not everybody can say that on this team. Looking at you, Tatum and Brown.
Last time was the Atlanta game where he also was 5 of 10. He did it against New Orleans. Let me just see how many times he's done it this season. 10 times this season. He's taken 10 or more threes, including in the Golden State Warriors loss. He took 18 threes, which I feel like that's got to be something.
That was one of the games he couldn't buy one.
Well, he made 7 of them, so he still shot 39%. So he's still shooting pretty well. Yeah, he still made 7 of them, but I mean, 7 of 18 is a
maybe he
long
missed
number.
like big ones in that game. I remember him missing shots. Maybe he did miss 11 technically, but like I remember him like feeling like he was cold in that game.
It is the third most threes ever taken in a game by a Celtic in the regular season. So there's a stat for you. But yeah, no, Derrick White was awesome in this game. I still contend that he is a top 5 defender in the NBA. I mean, like Scout was saying on the broadcast, those blocks that he got were not like you'll see him get the chase down blocks, the block from behind, like that's sort of his signature. He was just blocking guys straight up in this game. Like he defended Vooch in the post, and he was just like, nah, I'm gonna play Rudy Gobert and just send it back. It was nuts. Like guards don't do that. That's not a thing. Like you don't just see
Celtics had
anybody do that.
A billion blocks.
6 blocks in the first quarter. They finished
11.
with 11 blocks and 10 steals. There was a point in this game where the Bulls had 5 made field goals and the Celtics had 4 blocks. like they were matching them for a long point in this game. Derrick White was incredible. He's awesome. Should have been an all-star. They messed up. Winning doesn't matter. Drew Holiday was also good. Made some big time threes in this game. 9 points, 6 assists, 2 steals, 1 block for him, 3 rebounds. Sam Hauser, 3 of 3, 2 of 2. Dude, that 3 Sam Hauser made in transition where he looked off Tatum was fire. That was so sick.
It was
like,
so
that was
quick.
it was big boy.
It was the fastest like pass fake I think I've ever seen. And he had to do it that fast because the defender realized the personnel. It was like, wait a minute. I need to get out there. But the pass fake slowed him down just enough for that shot to come off clean, and he drilled it.
Yeah, dude. That was nuts. And Tatum got amped for him after the play, too. Like, Tatum started screaming in his face. That was sick.
Yeah, he was screaming in his face. He said, why didn't you give me the ball? I need to take more threes.
Not an amazing Horford game. He was fine. He grabbed some rebounds. Couldn't slow down Vooch either. Vooch was just doing whatever he wanted. Pritchard, solid. Made his threes. 4 rebounds, 1 assist.
He made some big ones. Set the tone in the fourth quarter and helped them kind of seal off this one because Chicago hung around the entire game, which I despise. I hate when the Bulls hang around or any
Relative,
team
yeah.
hangs around. Not to say the Celtics are doing anything wrong. This is
Did they
I
hang
feel
around?
uncomfortable. They did.
The lead
Because
was
they went
10 or
down
more the
16 in the
entire.
first quarter,
Yep.
and then they came all the way back to take a throughout the game, they hung around.
Oh,
And
okay.
Pritchard closed the door on them by coming out in the fourth quarter and making back-to-back threes. The reason why I hate this is not because I think the Celtics are doing anything wrong. I just don't like with the feeling, oh, wow, like, this game isn't over yet. You got to watch out. Be careful. Like,
What is the latest you feel like they were in the game? Because I'm like hung around. I feel like they didn't really hang around. They just made a comeback.
check,
and then
they
it was
hung
gone.
around. They kept the game close throughout the first, into the
Half.
third quarter.
Like but like halfway through the third quarter through the fourth, it was not a game anymore.
So
they
went up
competed-
15. I didn't think it was close in the fourth quarter.
It was 10 or more for the entire fourth quarter, and like 4 minutes into the third, it was 5, and it never got below 5 again. Like it was up.
I
and
think
got to
when
10.
it was like 9, I want to say probably 2.5 to 3 minutes left in the third quarter, I felt like it still was a game. But after that, Tatum took over, and I kind of felt comfortable. But Pritchard removed all doubt.
I suppose. I see what you mean. This isn't me like nullifying Pritchard's shots. He made some big shots. I just don't know. I don't know. I guess for me, it'd never feel like
They
felt
hung
like
around
the
in
Bulls,
this game.
They were in the first half, yeah, and in like the first few minutes of the third. But like then they fucking stomped them for the rest, like
They
the
did
last
stomp
quarter
them.
and a half. Like the last quarter and a half, it wasn't close.
But you know how the league goes now. It's like 12 points is only a couple
Yeah, I
possessions.
understand.
It's not
I
like a
understand.
world away.
I don't know. It just felt to me the way the Bulls got back in this game wasn't sustainable. So maybe that's just an in my head thing. Like I didn't think there was like a reasonable thing that they were like their offense didn't feel like it was going to sustain itself throughout the game. So like I totally understand your point. Like
That's fair.
a 9-point lead is 3 possessions. I get that, and I say it all the time. It just
I was
don't
going
know.
to say
like,
when I get mad when they blow
yeah.
leads, you're always
Definitely.
like, well, that's just how it goes, and I'm like,
for sure. I don't know. It just didn't feel like the Bulls. Like once Vucevic stopped scoring, I was like, yeah, this game's over. Like they had no other like consistent. Yeah, outside of Vucevic in this game,
you are familiar with their game. They can't fool you.
They had no consistent form of offense once Vucevic stopped getting whatever he wanted in the post, and then they were cooked from there. Speaking of cooked, Celtics faces just took a fucking beating tonight. Derrick White hit in the face with a basketball. Sam Hauser elbowed in the face. Drew Holiday forearmed in the face by Kobe White. They need to invest in some face masks in Chicago. Jesus.
I know. That man Hauser got absolutely clubbed. I even deleted my Scal tweet because I said, no, he actually got hit.
Yeah, he got a point on that one.
I was like, I'm not going to make fun of Scal for this one. That man got annihilated. And then Luke Kornet said, all right, my bad. I'm going to score all the points now.
I was going to say, of all the times for Scal to somewhat overreact, like that was the time, brother. Yeah. You got it.
Yeah. I was like, I'm going to leave him alone tonight.
Oh man, that was great. Tillman got his first bucket as a Celtic, 1 of 1. Super cool post move, super cool block too. He got up there for that one. Tillman looks obviously played 2 fucking minutes, but that was cool. Springer missed his 1 shot. Svi Mykhailiuk took a James Harden sidestep, super cool 3-pointer, and just fucking drained it. Svi Mykhailiuk is an enigma, man. I don't get him.
An enigma.
Well, isn't that a good word for it? He's just like, what the fuck?
It is.
This?
It is.
It's special stuff, dude. Also very random and didn't matter at all. Why the fuck did the refs just decide to call every screen on the Celtics and not on the Bulls? That was super weird. I have no problem with the refs in this game at all, outside of that one little thing that was just so fucking random. Like what? What are we doing? Did you guys just get bored of not blowing the whistle all night? Like what the hell?
They have to get ready for the playoffs. Like if they don't blow their whistles now, they'll get fatigued if they have to do it a lot in the playoffs. Like that is like a cardio / like respiratory thing. Like you have to have the air to blow the whistle.
Very weird. I think that covers it. Derrick White, best player on the floor in my opinion. Tatum, great bounce back. Finished with 25, 7, and 5, and it felt like he didn't do much in this game. 3 steals as well. Jalen had his big night, team high plus 19. Obviously, the Luke Kornet stuff. Kristaps, we didn't talk about. He didn't play super well. Didn't really hit his shots, but it didn't end up mattering. I felt like that first half, a lot of it was his problem, not being able to slow down Vooch. I don't know. Like it felt like he didn't use his length well enough. Like he was trying to body him back instead of like playing his own game. But it didn't matter in the end. But I don't know. Good game. Good way to come out. W. Needed that after the break.
Good start to the break. W indeed.
Any final thoughts?
Nope. Nick Saturday. You probably have to play better than this.
Relatively so. They're injured, but yes, they're injured. It's no OG, no Julius, so they've got a depleted squad.
Perfect.
A
That
little
means the excuse.
Let us know what y'all thought. Make sure to subscribe to How About Them Celtics. We appreciate you. Leave a like on the video. Check us out on the podcast platforms, and I'll let Sam take it out.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening or watching. If you're watching, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our daily uploads. We have the full pods coming at you Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Talking C's with Bobby will be going on later today, as it happens every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Friday and Monday are both live, so we'll figure out what time it's going to happen. But we'll be here, we promise. 11? All right, we'll be here at 11. You be here or we hate you, despise you, and you're banned from the channel. You can also find us on Spotify and Apple. The pods and game recaps are there, audio only. You can find us via email, hbtcpod@gmail.com. If you reach out to us there, you can tell us what you thought of tonight's win over the Bulls, how you're feeling about Saturday. We are going to record on Saturday for Sunday, so we'll be reading your emails then. You can reach out and follow us on socials at How About Them C's, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook is just the name of the podcast. You can find our streams there and on YouTube and on Twitter a half hour before every single game. Jack's Twitter's at Jack's Money NBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.